What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope you guys are doing well out on this cold Tuesday. I'm doing well myself, just trying to stay warm. Shout out to the sister Queen. I know who I am for hipping us to this particular situation that's concerning the passport bros. Okay, and as you know, the passport bros are going far and abroad to seek love and affection from what is considered foreign women, you know. And we got passport sisters too, the same thing. They're doing the same thing as well. But you hear more about it when it comes to passport bros, you understand? And a lot of them are not ending up well at all. As a matter of fact, it is downright dangerous and in some cases even deadly to what these passport bros are setting themselves up for to happen to them, you know. There's cases to where some of the passport bros are being slipped, allegedly slipped a drug called scopolamine. Okay, scopolamine basically puts them in some kind of incoherent state, so much to the point to where it's been alleged to where some of these passport bros has woken up in bathtubs with no kidneys. Okay, yeah, it's that bad, you know. As far as I'm concerned, you know, love is where you find it, but in the quest for love, it should never, basically cost you your life, you know, where it could cost you your life, you know. But without further ado, let's check this particular clip out and then we'll get into the commentary.
Many in Minnesota's Hmong community are overwhelmed with grief tonight while reflecting on fond memories of Tu Zhezhong.
The Woodbury man was just found killed in Colombia under suspicious circumstances, and tonight some of his loved ones were gracious enough to speak with our Babs Santos, and Babs joins us with that story.
Devastating news spread quickly through Minnesota's Hmong community on Tuesday. Community giant Tu Zhezhong found dead at 50 years old after being kidnapped and held for ransom on a business trip in Colombia.
At first, I was praying that they were going to find him.
Known as the life of the party, Tu drew people together. His family says the community activist and Carleton College political science grad dedicated his life to bridging cultures and speaking for those without a voice, taking a stand for equity and human rights before this untimely, horrifying death.
It was a couple blunt force to the head, and then they tossed him over a bridge.
University of Minnesota Regent Bao Tao Urabe is overwhelmed by the details, simply heartbroken for the family of her lifelong friend.
I think I just went blank for a minute, like, I don't believe this. How do we know for sure?
Minutes away from Tu's home in Woodbury, older brother Zhezhong can't stop looking out his front door, expecting Tu to return at any moment, even as this harsh new reality begins to set in and their focus shifts.
We have, full confidence in that in the Columbia police that they'll find the people who did this to him, and they brought him to justice.
As tributes pour in online on Tuesday, it's clear helping others is what made Tu the happiest. In 2019, he was recognized as a Bush Fellow.
Rather than grieving over Tu and the loss of his life, you want to celebrate what he has done and what he could be doing to help the community moving forward.
Right now, Tu's family is in the process of creating a foundation in his name through which they hope to offer scholarships and assistance for those in need. They expect to have more information on that in the coming days. And also, happening just minutes ago, Senator Amy Klobuchar released a statement on Tu Zhezhong's death, calling it a heartbreaking tragedy. She goes on to say Tu Zhe was an incredible person who was constantly working to uplift his community. My office is in contact with Tu Zhe's family and the embassy in Colombia as they work to bring his body back to Minnesota. Kelsey?
All right, thank you, Babs.
That's a very sad story there. Condolences to this man's Tu Zhezhong's family. Okay, it's a bad thing, but the thing is this: this is not something that just happens every now and again. This is something that seems to be on the regular over there in Colombia. It says here, 8 suspicious U.S. deaths in Colombia linked to dating apps. See, when things like this happen, you got to even question the source who even arranged the hookup in the first place, because they should be vetting some of these people that are, actually signing up for these dating apps, as far as I'm concerned. You got a lot of weirdos out there, criminals, don't care what they might do, just to rob somebody, take what they got, and as in this case, take their lives. Okay. Now, to get into this article right here, it says here, U.S. citizens traveling to Colombia have been warned against using dating apps in the country after the suspicious death of 8 American tourists in 2 months. The U.S. Embassy in Bogota said some victims were drugged and robbed after meeting people on these apps. The incident often occurred in cities like Medellin, Cartagena, and Bogota, where U.S. tourists that is, has picked up. Travelers are being told to avoid isolated locations like hotel rooms. Criminals use apps to lure victims to public spaces like restaurants and bars where they can be assaulted, robbed, and even killed, sometimes by the person they meet, the embassy warned. In the final 3 months of 2023, the number of robberies of foreign visitors increased by 200% and deaths by 29%, including to the 8 Americans who died between the 1st November and the 31st of December. One of those victims was American comedian activist Tujar Zong, who was 50 years old, who we just watched, and an Asian American living in Minnesota. Okay, so they took this man's life. Like I said, man, another place where you hear about stuff like this is over in some parts of Mexico as well. Especially with the organ harvesting. And hey, it's just not worth it, man. You have to find. If you got to go abroad to find love, you better off staying where you at. It's somebody for everybody, right there where you are in your own backyard, as far as your own country go. As far as I'm concerned, it's just not worth going this far. And then when situations like this take place, if you notice, they always say, they gotta go through all kinds of lengths to get the body back over here. You know what I'm saying? Well, where the origins of the body come from, the person come from, GoFundMe's and all that kind of stuff. It's terrible, Now to continue here, though, it says here he was on vacation in Colombia at the end of November when he was kidnapped and killed after meeting a woman online and meeting her on a date. Zhang was abducted and fatally stabbed over a dozen times by a group of men. The number of foreign victims of these kinds of crimes could be higher than the figures suggest. These types of crimes routinely go unreported, as victims are embarrassed and do not want to follow through with the judicial process, the embassy said. And those who try to resist or fight back against a robbery attempt are more likely to be killed, it warned. Okay. Yeah. I mean, things like this, it can happen in your own backyard. We know that, but it's more liable to happen in foreign countries, like places like Colombia, and like I said, places like Mexico, what have you. It was a lady, I did a video on, I think it was last summer, as a matter of fact. And she went, she was from Mexico, and I think she went to Colombia. I can't exactly remember how it was, but long story short, she was murdered. And she was doing the same thing. She was seeking love, in a foreign country, from where she was from. She, went to this place. And some retarded scientist of some sort, butchered the woman up and used her body as an editorial for a medical editorial, something like that, And it just so happens that I think the woman's sister, recognized something about the body. I can't remember how that went per se. But yeah, this is a dangerous thing to go abroad. You just never know what you can run into. And then you got the language barrier thing. It's a nightmare. And these people are out here doing all kinds of stuff. It's just not worth it as far as I'm concerned. But I want you guys to tell me what you think about this particular story right here. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it in the comment section. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, people. Please remember to live your life as though we are being watched, simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.